We were sort of talking about this sort of mini entrepreneurial nature of it, hair cutters, barbers, hairstylists, etc. They all have their own little businesses. They are an entrepreneurial bunch where they move from one salon to another. They might change and say, I got a better deal here, or they might then start their own barbershop. You do see that path, right? In these employees or these freelancers who then become owners of businesses?
All the time. That's kind of the natural trajectory for a successful career in this industry, is that eventually many of them, they want to open a shop, and that's the main way that they can build more wealth and make more money outside of just the number of haircuts they're providing each day. So absolutely, we see that.
And so if they were not 1099 employees, they wouldn't be as portable or flexible. They wouldn't be able to leave and go to work for another one to start their own. They would just be hourly workers who had to work specific shifts, and that would give them less mobility.
It would give them probably less mobility. And also I think that's a type of model that could work for some barbershops that have the resources. But like we said before, a barbershop is a pretty easy business to start. And the overhead and the amount of assets required is really low. And that's part of one of the appealing reasons of why there's so many shops and why it's interesting for these business owners. If we required all the barbers to be employees, it'd be a really heavy lift, I think, just starting a barbershop and getting it off the ground. So we see that model more like in the franchises that have, 30, 40, 50.
Oh, the supercuts of the world. Yeah, they pay people an hourly wage.
Yeah, they pay people hourly. But for the one-off
so you have to be a shift worker. You got to work 8-hour shifts when they tell you.
Yeah. Typically.
And you got to do X number of hours per week, and you're not allowed to work at another salon.
Yeah.
They basically dictate your entire work.
Yeah, typically, yeah.
See, I think this is the important discussion that people don't understand, is that once you add all these regulations, it becomes impossible for somebody, if they had to hire everybody full time and take on that risk, to pop up a barbershop, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be. We can think of. I'm sure there's room to think of how it could be improved and how we could provide some more safeguards for barbers outside of the current situation. But I definitely think it would be heavy-handed to require all barbers to be employees. We would see a lot of shops shutting down, most likely.
Yeah. This is the thing. I think there's good intention, I think, when people think they're trying to protect workers, but I don't think that this class of worker wants to be forced to be an hourly worker. What do you see amongst that group in terms of, do they want to be hourly workers, or do they just want to be freelancers the way they are? If you were to ask 10 of them, how many would say, I want the current system? How many would say they want to just make the same amount of money but be hourly?
To be fair, I haven't polled this, so I don't know for sure. But anecdotally, I would guess that they like the current system. They want to be able to charge, as much as possible, make as much as possible for the services they're providing, and have the kind of flexibility. And they also like to build their own book of business. Many barbers, so that they like to think that these are their customers that they've been building. So when they do go to another shop, they can bring those customers.
How do you do that with the software? I'm curious. How do you manage that with people booking? Do they split the ownership of that lead? Does the individual barber get a copy of the contact information and the store, or does the individual person have to build it up and build up their own phone book on their iPhone?
It varies case by case, and it depends on how the shop is set up. So if they're a booth rental, and each barber is really just an independent business owner doing their own thing, generally they'll have access to the customer data, and they can take it with them. When it's a commission shop and the relationship is with the owner of the shop and Squire, then in that case we kind of default to the owner and like how they want to run it. A lot of times the owners invest a lot of money in marketing and branding into, acquiring these customers. So it's not really fair to them, to then have the barbers, take that information. Take the
book of business and leave and start a competitor.
Yeah, across the street, which we've seen a lot of times actually.